Hey everyone, I am Blue Coaster and welcome to the CNB Tutorials channel. Today I am going to talk about arrays. First of all, we're going to see how we can create an array. So what we're going to do is typing in int and use the square brackets. Square brackets means that it's going to be an array of integers at this time, int. And then I am going to call it a name. I am going to call it array of ints, and then I am going to instantiate an array of integer, and inside of the square brackets you're going to put the number of integers you want to put inside this array. I am going to put 5, but you can put more, you can put less. The only rule that you have to worry about is that you cannot put negative amounts. And now let's see how we can put integers inside this array. First of all, we're going to put an integer inside this array. This number right here is what we call a length. So I'm allowed to 5 integers inside this array. Now what I'm going to do is really important. So I'm going to type in the name of the array and open the square brackets and put in the index. An index starts from 0 to the length of the array minus 1, which is 4 in this case, 4 being the last element in the array. So if I were to put 0, which is the first element of the array, and then I put 4 inside this array index 0, then I can do more of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, and put some other random numbers that I'm just typing in, and it will still work. But past that, this would not work. Keep in mind that the compiler does not care. But once you run the code, it will print out an error because the length of the array is not big enough for the index 5. If we were to run that code, you can see that it threw an exception because the array is not big enough for a 6th element. So we're going to remove that one. And now we can get those values. So what you're going to do is type in an integer, my value, or it can be anything, and then I'm going to get the first value of the array. And now if I print it, and now if I print that value out, then it should print 4 because 4 is in the first index of the array of ints, and I've put inside my value array of ints 0, which is the first element of the array, which is 4, and it should print out 4. So let's run that code, and indeed it printed 4. Now we can do that for another value such as int my value 2, and then get the second element of that array. And if we were to print out that value, then it should print out 45. Let's run that code, and now it printed 45. You can put any object inside of arrays. For example, we can have an array of 2 strings. In that case, we need strings. So I can say hey and hello. I'm gonna rename that. And now what this basically means is that we have an array of string of 2 of length 2 means that it can only hold 2 strings inside this array. The first one we have put inside is hey, and the second one is hello. Now if we want to get that first string back, we're going to say array of strings index 0, and this should get hey because hey is the first element of that array. Now if we were to print out that value and run the code, it says hey, and it is the same for the others. If you were to try to get an element that is out of range of the array, it will print that same error that you saw minutes ago. Another way that you can initialize an array of any kind of object is by putting curly brackets. And what you're going to do is typing in whatever you want inside, and this becomes index 0, and this becomes index 1, and this is length 2. So we have an array of string of length 2 containing hey and hello. And if we were to get that first element, which is index 0, then we should get hey. Indeed. I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, comments below. Thank you so much for watching.